What?
That face.
I don't know, actually.
Who's that?
30 seconds
It's a
to go.
face.
What the?
I
What is going on?
don't know what face that is, actually.
There's gems that are appearing and disappearing in reality.
Very strange. Either way, both these teams tied at 2 and 3. So technically, the winner could still make the major.
And the loser could still get relegated.
And the loser could go to Div 2. But
Yeah.
still, a lot is dependent. But either way, this is an extremely important game for both sides. And again, like we said, Secret, they're not the ones that are guaranteed to go to TI, while Gaming Gladiators kind of are. So they want the points even more than Gaming Gladiators do. Dyrachyo taking battery assault with that Arctic burn as well. This shouldn't be enough for a kill, but still a hefty amount of damage being applied.
And is he walking a base or the courier? He's actually going fully to base because he had no regen.
Oh,
went for the full wand start.
But at the very least, for Gaming Gladiators, they do get 3 out of the 4 bounty runes.
They do.
So that'll satiate them, as you used that word last game, and I can't get it out of my, I was going to say out of my mouth, but out of my head.
Yeah. There's a lot of real fat guy references coming out. You can't get satiate out of your mouth. Like, what are you?
Don't worry about it,
It's very American.
Zayat. Oh, Dyrachyo, he just TP'd here. This will be a huge kill. Arctic Burn with Chrysalis in that meta form. And Dyrachyo, you can see, lives and is forced to use a salve relatively early.
Remember when I whispered to you during the draft and you were very confused and I had no idea what I said?
Yep.
I said aggro try when they picked this Tidehunter, because this is an old classic. People would run the Tidehunter versus the Beast solo safe lane, and the board just does nothing to him. It doesn't really matter as much because you do go for the Axes build, as we can see from Ace. Yep. But still, Secret is going for this because otherwise, you'd think picking a Tide into Monkey King is kind of awful, right? You don't want to pick a melee gets owned by Monkey King hero into Monkey King, but it's not into Monkey King. He's playing against the Beast.
Yeah, so he's having himself a lane and a half right now. And I mean, who else from Secret is down there? It's Tofu. So Tofu is going to be taking some farm in the meantime. As I'm not sure what they're going to do with this lane. Do they want to stay 2v1 or do they have to match the aggro try?
It looks like they're pretty okay doing this 2v1 here. I mean, Wyvern's not really the strongest hero in a tri lane. Maybe with a couple of levels.
Yeah. And they're trying to force Ice out of lane a bit. He has taken quite a bit of harassment, so it's not going to be like a completely free lane for him, as he does have the level of Anchor, or the level of Kraken now. Actually, what, 2 levels?
2 points, yeah. So he can sit here and get bullied. So let's see. That's 61 damage from Tofu, and he's only taking half of that. And even
it's like a creep.
Yeah, and even less with the
Stout Shield.
With the Anchor Smash. The Stout Shield, I believe, does not... I don't even think that works on Tidehunter once you have Kraken Shell. It only works for level 1.
That's true, isn't it?
I'm pretty
Although
sure.
that could have changed when they made it just part of melee heroes.
I think that by default, or when that happened, it was working like we were just saying, and I don't remember that ever changing. Which is why a lot of people were advocating for the 102 build on Tidehunter. Everybody's going for Gush. Oh, that's not... Okay, so he gets the items off of it. That's the big deal there.
Oh.
He needed this regen. I mean, even still, like, he needs the salve. So they're really pressuring him. They see that he's only got these tangos to work with.
Yep.
And pressuring him very hard. Yeah. So this is going to be a poverty mode offlaner game for Ice.
Does that mean that Secret is happy with how the tri-lane is going so far? I mean, we can kind of just look at the general CS with Dyrachyo on the Monkey King at 9-2, and Chrysalis' Terrorblade at 14-7. So definite favor. Just CS for the Secret side. Now they're kind of dispersing a bit, so they're kind of... I mean, this is the thing that didn't used to be the case back in the day with the leeching of XP, but these days it feels like you give the carry enough space to get the levels that they need, and you just kind of let these supports stay at super low levels.
Yeah, and then
a good time.
And then they go mid later, and like the mid rotates, and there's like this passing of the baton of farming that kind of happens. As yeah, we can see the tri-lane is it's not super effective at killing, but it is very effective at zoning. So Crystallis is hitting every creep. 7 denies as well. But Dyrachyo on Monkey King, he's farming pretty nicely too. The creep wave has been right in front of the tower this whole time.
Yep, Celery is getting chased. Arctic Burn with, I believe, a battery assault to come.
He's got a Fairy Fire.
Okay, doesn't want to dive.
Yeah, Zayat sees the Fairy Fire, respects it, doesn't go for the dive. Diving tier 2, I think you do that. Oh man, Crystallis.
Yep, he's in big bad meta form. I always found the concept of Terrorblade to be so interesting because...
Really? You find Terrorblade to be interesting?
I mean, the reason I don't like him is because NA would just pick him literally every game. So
Yes,
I'm just
we
getting
do.
sick of it. It has nothing to do with the concept of the hero, but
No.
to have basically an ultimate available at level 1 is kind of crazy. Is Boom getting pressured by Nisha. Gets that Resonant Pulse off. Still continue to take damage. Nisha really doesn't have to worry about dying, although Celery is here with a Mud Golem. And Boom.
This is not...
Okay,
Oh.
you can see how much damage that does when you're surrounded by trees. Gets off the Aether Remnant as Crystallis ends up getting first blood on Dyrachyo. So,
Celery's here. He's trying to deal with this Timber that's being such a menace.
and they can't do much.
No, he doesn't have Timber Chain. He's just very confident that with 3 points reactive, he can just run him down. Yeah, this Timber mid looking pretty decent.
Yep, Chakram doing quite a bit as Boom wants to get a bit aggressive. As we have a TP to fill the bottle. Oh, Dyrachyo. He's going to be the one to actually TP, which is surprising me. Cold Embrace is going to set up the tree dance, though. Not sure if they have enough damage to actually kill off Nisha, as Zayat has come to play as well. He's going to take a decent amount of damage with that Aether Remnant, keeping him in place. So his rotation is completely punished on the side of Gaiman.
Dude, Celery had the 2 Mud Golems again, the little Mud Golems to stun, and then also a Ghost from the nearby creep camp. That was some pretty insane Enchantress micro there. Like, usually when you see the little Mud Golems come out, they stun once and then they're dead, right? But he actually used the second round of it and then also had the time to go get a Ghost, which ended up getting them that kill. That's a very sweaty Enchantress player right there.
Very sweaty indeed.
Yeah.
So, Ice, getting close to the level 5, but you can see his net worth not doing too hot, but this is kind of expected in a 2v1 situation. Ace having himself a game. Has how much in the level? He's actually not that far ahead in levels, but that's with a second member on his team, so
Yep.
that's pretty valuable.
I think the biggest advantage here that Secret got from the lane is the fact that Crystallis is so huge on TB. He's having a very solid game.
And Nisha has the arcane boots. Behind him is Puppy, as a Centaur is continuing to be a huge annoyance. Ice might be in some trouble here, although Ice doesn't have to worry about Ace's mana capacity too much. Another axe has come, but he's going to live. Has 3 levels of Kraken Shell. 3 is a lot.
I was wondering if he would do that. Ice is one of the...
Dyrachyo.
He is in no man's land.
Zayat's continued to chase. Crystallis' range is ridiculous, but into the tree line he goes.
Yeah.
Oh, Zayat's... Okay. It's not like he's level 6 or anything, so...
No. Dyrachyo's, he's got to run this way because no mana for that TP, so he's got the long walk back to somewhere safe.
So yeah, talk to me about 3 levels of Kraken Shell, because that seems excessive.
He does this. Ice probably has one of the... I mean, he's one of the world's best Tidehunters, if not the world's best Tidehunter, so he always changes up the build on this hero. It's like watching Amar play Timbersaw or something, or watching Ice play Timber, where the build is like sometimes like 2-0-2 and then a level in Kraken Shell, or sometimes he'll even skip Ravage at level 6. It just depends on how the game is going. So he feels like he's not really farming right now, and he just needs to sit in front of this tower and be tanky. So he's got 3 points in Kraken Shell. They're going to do effectively no damage to him with right clicks with this build.
Yep.
Which is very important. We can see all these little right clickers coming out from the
true.
Beastmaster.
So going for the ultra survivability mode.
Yeah.
But it's going to hurt him in the farm department, no doubt. We'll see how much he can catch up in the near future. And you can see Dyrachyo trying to catch up in the jungle because he's just been pushed out of lane completely, hovering on very little HP, but we'll probably have to go back to Fountain in just a moment.
Another thing that this build indicates to me, too, by the way, is that Ice wants to play this kind of slow, because otherwise he'd be opting to level up his more useful abilities for team fights, you know, such as the Anchor Smash or the Gush, which usually comes after the Anchor Smash. But yeah, he wants to just keep laning down here. Otherwise, you'd just go 2 points Kraken, you'd max the Anchor Smash.
Up Crystal as he gets off an early Sunder. Getting a lot of HP back as a result. Still a Swarm applied, but he has such massive armor. And here's the reinforcements. Nisha missing out on the Chakram. And boom with that double damage. Doesn't have any mobility spells for a little bit now. Gonna take another Timber Chain. Oh my god, I thought he had enough time to pop it. So Nisha gets the solo kill onto Boom. That is enormous for Secret. That was like a split second away from being able to pop the Dissimilate.
That's that Dissimilate nerf, having the extra cast point on that. It's funny because he also had a one charge and bottle charge as well, so he was actually just kind of debating on the Void Spirit, but he kind of debated himself in that situation.
That's right.
As Celery, doing his typical shenanigans. He's such a pain in the ass on this hero, man.
Does he play any other heroes these days?
I think he's, yeah, I mean, CM, as we've seen. But he does have a small hero pool. Like, every team has a couple of, I mean, he doesn't have a small hero pool, actually. He's a 12k MMR support. But for the team, he does, right? It's like, that's, I
think a lot of it is, I mean, teams aren't going to want to ban these heroes, right? They don't want to ban a support in a lot of cases. Is Clockwork, unless you're Marcy, of course. And Zayat's taken out by Ace.
Yeah, the supports get through, and generally you want to first phase them anyway. So often these fives get stuck just playing the same stuff in every single game. It's just that's the life of a 5 position. Depending on the patch, it's a different role that gets stuck in that position. But for 5, it's
well, maybe if we see a little bit more traction to the position 1 Enchantress, they can perhaps flex it in the future.
Yeah, that worked very well for Nouns.
Yep. Very well indeed to get their first 2 losses of the DPC for themselves. The Celery is going to find his way to the grave. But he does force a couple heroes from Secret to pay attention to him.
Yeah, Timber, not exactly a hero that cares about any of Enchantress's defensive capabilities. More than capable at this point to kill her. And Ice does opt to start leveling up his Anchor Smash, by the way, so he feels...
Really? He didn't go for the 4th point in Kraken Shell.
You say that, but you wouldn't have thought he would have gone for the 3rd point either.
That's true.
Like, I've seen...
Up, hook shot. Timber Chain to follow. And it looks like Boom is fine. Still has the Astral Step to get some space, but that's a lot of burst damage.
Too fast,
and
man.
Nisha, again, the exact amount of time needed to get the kill on his counterpart mid. And that was a TP expended as well, so that's going to be a walk of shame for Boom. Rough stuff for him in this beginning stages of the game.
Is Nisha bronze tier with Timber 2? Or does he not have, I don't think he has Dota Plus. Like, that's...
Secret can't afford the Dota Plus for him?
Yeah, of course.
Understandable.
He might be on like his 10th Smurf, too. I was watching one of his Pudge games on Smurf number 7.
Oh, okay. How'd that go?
Very well, actually. He's playing a lot of Pudge lately.
Really? As a Smurf, that's impressive that he was able to do so
well. It's like a 11k MMR Smurf.
Oh, that's not a Smurf then. That's just an ult account.
Sure.
Big difference.
That's it. Well, you're going to have to take that one up with Reddit.
All right. BSJ has a lot of accounts himself.
Yeah, those are an Archon, though. His main, that is. Always have to get a pot shot in. Yeah, Nisha, he's having such a fantastic game.
Yeah, and Dyrachyo, you can see he is actually not as far behind as I thought he would be. Only 400 behind the TB, which, you know, being forced out of lane, that's actually pretty impressive.
Yeah, and he's going to be upping the pace very quickly soon, too. He's got the Maelstrom almost 200 gold away from it, so he's going to farm very fast. Honestly, a pretty good hero. Not in general, but against the TB with that Maelstrom.
We're seeing the replay on the kill here. 0.6 seconds away from that. Okay.
Oh, there it is again. That's all right.
This time on the position 1, so...
Did we just watch the replay twice, or what?
Nisha is going ham this game. He is having himself a game. And this, again, was the first pick Timber, which they just assumed was the off lane. But then they last picked this Tide, so switching it up, and it's proving to be really valuable.
Yeah, you know what they say about assuming?
No.
Don't do it.
Wow.
Yeah. So they did it, and they're
deep.
I know. And they're getting punished. for assuming. He absolutely demolished this mid Void Spirit.
That's right.
And also, I mean, kind of demolished the other lanes too, in the fact that he forced these rotations towards mid, which gave Crystallis a completely free game, and we could see him farming up some stacks. I mean, it gave Puppey a free game too to make those stacks for Crystallis as well. It's been a lot of focus on dealing with Nisha, and he's not been shut down.
And Crystallis is going to focus on this big Ancient stack now. It is going to be scouted by the Beastmaster on Gaming Gladiator side, and you can see the Monkey King picking up the Maelstrom now. And they actually smoking up. Indeed they are. So they're going to potentially come to this triangle to try to contest this Ancient stack, because it's not going to be the fastest of all time, but they're going to run into the Wyvern first. I think most of the stack has already been taken out, actually. And a good job from Puppey, basically tanking the gank. It's not a really fast curse.
Yeah, that's
and big. Ace is taking a ton of damage. He has to use that roar on the Cold Embrace Wyverns. That ends up being not so great, as Gaming Gladiators already lose one. And now the focus is on Celery, who is surrounded by literally the entire Secret team. And some way, somehow, Puppey survives.
Yeah, he almost got Puppey going down there. Almost kamikazed him, but no, not in this situation.
Yeah, great just thought from Secret, knowing that there was probably going to be some sort of rotation coming in. I don't know if they had like a Hawk on the Sentry moving through, or a Sentry on the Hawk moving through, where they knew that there was a potential rotation that was coming after it was scouted. But whatever information that led to them coming up with this idea that, okay, the smoke's coming right now was very good, very solid. Like, even if Puppey just dies there and Crystallis walks away, that's still a really good play. But instead, they actually turn it around fully because of the nice Winter's Curse from Puppey.
And they get a tier 1 tower top.
Dire's top tower has fallen.
So they have every single tier 1 already for Secret. And I mean, it's not exactly the best pushing team, so that's actually kind of surprising. I mean, this is against an Enchantress and Beastmaster, for God's sake.
Damn, they're going for the tier 2.
Yeah,
they feel strong.
They're going to force Gaming Gladiators back. They still have that siege. Finally, the fort is activated.
They could fort the wave. They're going to fort the catapult? Okay, they don't have to.
Yep, Cold Embrace is basically a low cooldown fortification. Tofu showing himself, but again, this is just the support Weaver this time around. They're just going to farm up those juicy beetles. Oh, Timber Chain in. Nisha doesn't quite have vision on Tofu, who goes into the tree line. But this is going to be an extremely early tier 2 tower. Now, in the meantime, they are being pushed in the bot lane, but not quite as fearsome of a push. He does have the Triceratops, which you would think as a dinosaur would be very fearsome, but not really.
Now the Watermelon's much scarier. They're Gaming Gladiators is afraid to fight into this group up behind the Ravage right now, which I think that's a correct dodge from them. It feels really bad that they lose the tier 2. Maybe you could argue there's some play that could happen where like Boom cuts the wave and then that doesn't happen, where the tier 2 falls. But I feel like you could fight into a Ravage right now, get team wiped, and lose the game. Like there's a really strong timing for Secret, and Gaming Gladiators, they just want to avoid it. And the question is, until when?
Ice is still 1,000 away from Blink. He went for Vlad's first, which, like you talked about, was a slower pace, but has been working out really well.
Good for pushing. Gives your TB a bunch of extra damage. As they try to do something in the mid lane, but Boom, who was already zipping away.
Radiant structures are fortified.
And on the side of Secret, Crystallis has a Yasha, and will just be going straight for Scotty, so I assume that's kind of the big item that they're waiting for. As an Aghanim Scepter is online now for Boom. Despite the slow start, he actually rushes it as a first item. So he's going to have the Resonant Pulse Silence, along with the 2 charges now.
Oh man, Duraccio.
Yeah,
Ice has the Ravage. Does he commit?
Probably not.
No, he's got a Wyvern behind him. I think if there's like any other hero there, he probably does. Wyvern just not the most aggressive potential. I think for Gaming Gladiators, what they're probably waiting for is Duraccio to get his BKB. At that timing, Crystals will probably have his Scotty, so we could see a fight that still goes the way of Secret.
Oh, Tofu. Some nice lockdown, but it gets the time lapse off. Very, very annoying hero.
Yeah, there's just not enough disable for this guy.
But Secret not really going to care too much and just go into the pit. And we'll see if Gaming Gladiators have much to try to counteract it. I mean, this is against a Ravage. This is against a Curse. They don't have the greatest lineup to try and contest this. This might just be a freebie, although I say that the Tier 2 tower will potentially be the trade.
This is always the trade, actually. It's always the Radiant Tier 2 for Roche. When it's, yeah, that's the Dire versus Radiant trade. Classic. It's like, there's no way we can get to Roche in time, guys. Let's just take their Tier 2. And then Radiant feels the same. It's like, we can't get to the Tier 2 in time, so let's just finish Roche.
Chrysalis is going to hold on to that, and I mean, we've seen they don't really have a great Aegis carry. I honestly think Timbersaw might be the best right now if they're not going to hit buildings, but maybe they are going to hit buildings. But these transformation heroes, it's kind of like this weird time, like, do I use meta now before the Aegis? Like, if you burst them down, then he's kind of useless. Of course, if you do get Shard, you're not completely useless.
That's still pretty useless.
More for farming, maybe.
Yeah, maybe.
Demon Zeal, everybody's favorite.
I guess one idea is you're playing into Monkey King as the TB this game, and so you probably want to kite his ult anyway. So you can like wait until his ult goes off. You're still in melee form. Maybe die. Maybe you take a bunch of damage. As he's blocking the cogs. Very nice.
Yeah, that's nice.
Very nice. But yeah, I think there's an element of like they want to have the ability to like disengage from the Monkey King ult, perhaps with the Aegis, and then go in and Metamorphosis.
I mean, despite all this, Gaming Gladiators is still farming better than Secret. That's really surprising to me.
Yeah, Ace is a big boy. He's the difference maker. Look at his net worth compared to Ice's.
Yeah.
There's a, what is that, 3K, 3.5K lead between the offlaners.
Yeah, but look at the mid laners. Timber versus Void Spirit. It is not remotely
That's
close.
true. That's also not close. Tofu's huge. What the hell? Tofu's got 6,800 net worth.
Oh, hook shot. Still with an actual step. Oh my goodness. They're going to curse on top of the Ravage. Is this going to be enough? Another astral step. And he actually has the shard for the dissimulate distance. So a little bit of miscommunication from Secret cost them a potential kill there. Ice, ice, ice. He's going to take a lot of damage from this impetus. Gets off the anchor smash, but gets Force Staff back into the fray. Wukong's command probably not needed, but Gaming Gladiators still get a pretty decent kill. And the chase is on, but Force Staff. Looks like that'll end this little skirmish.
Yeah, Gaming Gladiators, they basically recognize that blunder from Secret. The fact that they overlapped their Curse and the Ravage at the same time. And they punish. As a bit of an interesting man fight occurs. Both heroes not that interested.
It's more of a robot versus a monkey.
That sounds like a movie. That's some Godzilla shit right there.
Yeah, probably a little more interesting than Godzilla, though.
Yeah.
As Scotty is next on list for Dyrachyo. Now that he has that BKB up. Obviously, pretty value with that negative health regen against the likes of the Timbersaw. And the Cold Embrace, I guess, as well. How does that work? It still applies to Scotty as you're getting hit, even though you're not getting hit.
Oh,
right?
he cut his tree.
Okay. Dyrachyo's forced to BKB.
That doesn't feel good.
And he'll walk away. Boom, in the meantime, he's going to be spotted. Dissimulate to the south. And the Astral Step as well.
That was the east.
That's the southeast. He's going to get Hookshot Cogs, but another Astral Step, and he still has Dissimulate, so this is going to be really
That was to
tough.
the south.
That's also southeast.
Okay. All right.
I asked you a mechanics question. What was it? Because I don't remember either.
I don't remember.
Why don't you ever listen to me?
Who cares?
It's a really important... Oh, yeah.
I don't even know you asked me a question.
Scotty applies to Cold Embrace targets. It's Dyrachyo taking a lot of damage from Nisha.
It does. It does.
He's going to go into the base.
Diving. He knows there's no BKB.
Yeah. He's got the chakram again, and down goes Dyrachyo. That is a very sad death.
Yeah. Robot versus monkey. Robot wins. And the sequel.
Sounds like a really god-awful movie indeed. Make sure Steven Seagal signs up for that one. That's a real stinker and a half. But the wave was cut, so they can't really push any further as Chrysalis is forced down to the bot lane. that has been pushed out to the tier 3. But, I mean, even with some of these kills going the way of Secret, the lead is slipping away from them.
Look at Tofu's items, dude. He's got a Maelstrom on a support Weaver.
Huh.
So he is choosing to scale in this game, which I think is pretty cool. He feels like his other heroes, maybe in the position that they're in terms of just how the game is going, are not going to scale as well as him. So, but he feels like he has the net worth.
He's going to get hook shot. Has time lapse. Oh! Okay. Gets it off and will live as a result. But on the other side of the river, Ice not going to be so lucky. He does not have a time lapse ability on Tidehunter. And now with that full HP, Tofu able to pressure Zayats, but he gets the 4-staff up, and Nisha zoning it out. So with the Shakuchi, so Tofu should be fine. Zayats taking so much damage from Celery, though. But they cut the tree again, and Dyrachyo does have his BKB. Will have to use it, but now they're going to force all this pressure onto Nisha inside this Wukong's command. And Chrysalis and company are going to have to back out. The roar onto Puppey results in his death. And Game and Glad, I mean, I feel like Secret have... It's so weird to watch a game where they're just getting out-farmed as the minutes go by, despite them getting pickoffs before this fight.
Yeah, I mean, it's... This is kind of what Game and Gladiators did at the Major, too.
Nisha already brought to half HP.
Should be fine, yeah.
Tier 2 towers dead at the very least, but Ice with a big Ravage onto 2. Boom, with the Astral Step to Assimilate again, and Ace does get bursted down this time.
Boom's got that Arcane, so...
Yeah, he's fine.
He's got some steps up.
Yeah, he's got his Fitbit activated. And count those steps.
Yeah.
I mean, Astral Step is only 1 step, though, with all that distance. Kind of not... Oh, they're going to break the tree again, but... Will he... Not going to go back on top of Dyrachyo. Gets off the Boundless Strike, and Celery and company surrounding Nisha, looking for the high 5. Nice kill onto Tofu. On a perfect angle onto that tree. Celery now on the run.
I don't know how the hell he ended up over there, but there he is. And he's out. That's a classic Celery.
Okay, so after this exchange, Secret has kind of brought this game back to close net worth territory.
Yep, Nisha once again with no deaths, doing a very good job carrying this game on his back.
This guy he's every game it feels like he's just a beast.
He's a monster. Actually, he's the robot. He fights the monster and wins, apparently, quite frequently.
Well, he's actually a goblin inside of a robot, so...
No, the robot is Timbersaw. The goblin's his friend.
I see. Yes, that makes sense.
We've talked about this. Almost has that hex, too.
Yep, that's going to be quite valuable, as it looks like Ice is going for the Aghanim Scepter. So the AoE Gush, which obviously good against the likes of Beastmaster Enchantress.
Just thinking about this net worth lead, like, this is a weird...
It feels like a weird game.
It's strange.
Oh, hook shot, man. They have cut him down repeatedly. Still has the BKB, but sheeped up throughout all that. So Chrysalis finds another kill on Dyrachyo. You can see the frustration kicking in as he smiles immediately after I said that. At least I'm keeping high spirits. Of course,
feeling real bad.
it seems pretty happy about it, actually. Should mention again that this loss, even if they end up, obviously they'll want to be in Div 2, but if they don't make it to the Major, it's not the end of the world for Game of Gladiators.
Yeah, they got TI.
They're going to TI. Secret, though, a lot more on the line. Of course, you want to keep your form going into TI.
Yeah, of course, of course. It never, I mean, but I'm sure there are peaks and troves in...
Troves?
Yes, that's right.
Hook shot onto the creeps.
You know, like a treasure trove.
Okay.
There are whatever.
Wow, what a great point. I'm so glad you're doing analysis right now. It's Ice. Gonna take some damage to Boom. And this Black Dragon with that Helm of the Overlord. And Ace has been doing a really good job of just keeping these lanes pushed out. Obviously, we talked about his farm early on was kind of carrying game in to the mid game, as they're going to get the sheep from Nisha. Not enough to get the kill, and it feels like they're still just missing a little bit of lockdown.
Yeah, they need like a second sheep. He needs a refresher.
I could go for that as Celery against Chrysalis. Who wins this battle?
I would say eventually Chrysalis.
Okay, he's going to keep going.
Unless it's a battle of who can run away from the other.
Yep, Dyrachyo shows, though. And Celery...
Oh
my God, he
Actually
ravaged.
ravaging. Interesting choice. Meanwhile, bottom lane, Black Dragon and company applying a lot of pressure to this tier 3. Ace with the TP. Will be fun.
There's no ravage. Gaiman probably made the call. Okay, when Stellar is back up, guys, let's go. Like, let's go fight them. Ice looking immediately for the Roshan, because you would love to have ravaged and then just immediately get Rosh, so that way you're protecting the cooldown of that. Tofu's being very annoying, by the way.
Yeah, that ravage. We'll see if it ends up biting them. Maybe he thought that Dyrachyo was still in the AoE.
Yeah, trying
to go for the 2-for-1, which would have been worth it for sure.
Definitely.
But we can see that Rosh is going to be up in 1 second, so Zayat should have enough vision here to see.
What?
It was kind of a delayed.
What the hell?
That timer was like 2 seconds off.
Is unfortunate.
Yep. So now
Well,
I don't think
Gladiators
they saw
see it now.
Yeah. Maybe it has daylight savings attached to it inside the Dota world, so slightly delayed, a little jet lag for Rosh.
Yep.
Wasn't ready to come back into his den.
And not two of them in this game, just one Rosh.
Dyrachyo. Okay. That's true. That is one good thing about this game. What happened to that game that had 2 Roshes anyway?
I have no idea. I read the headline and that didn't click, which is what
It wasn't a clickbait enough for you?
No.
Needs an arrow for you to click on
Right,
it.
yeah, that's the arrow. The arrows really get me.
Oh, hook shot. Zayat will find Celebi. It's a nice 4-staff off, but it's into the arms of the rest of Secret, so Bambi's done. You can see Tofu. I mean, in general, Game and Gladiators have done a really good job, despite not being in the kill advantage, just pushing these lanes, being very annoying. I mean, you have a Beastmaster that can kind of do that with creeps. You have a Weaver that's continually doing it.
What is this?
Very hard to catch. Dyrachyo's running in place. Another treadmill ad for Valve is... Oh, looks like we're going to see Weaver get cursed in the triangle, but I'm not sure if they have the follow-up. The Spirit Vessel applied to Puppy, taking a lot of damage, gets the Cold Embrace on himself. Time-lapse for Tofu. And again, this is just for a position for... I mean, he does have Gleipnir, so not the traditional position fours. They're creating so much space for this push bottom as well, even if they find this kill on Tofu. And meanwhile, Crystals is able to claim the Aegis. So that is a big, juicy thing for Secret to look forward to.
Dire's middle tower is under attack.
Big juicy thing. Yeah, that's right. Both of these teams are claiming that they just created space for their teammates. In reality, I would say probably Secret would be more correct in that assertion. You know, that getting that Aegis, very important at this point. They also got a shard.
Yep, it's on Ice, but he hasn't eaten it yet. So I think they're still thinking, oh, he just gave it to Nisha, I believe. So they're going to have the Flamethrower instead of the... I mean, the Anchor Smash one's really good, but Flamethrower makes sense. I mean, that's your most impactful hero right now on Secret.
Right, exactly. Like, Ice is quite pathetic in the grand scheme of things in this game. Less net worth than the enemy paused for, so he's a support, and understanding that.
Oh, this might be enough lockdown this time. Finally, they take out Tofu. Just been a thorn in their side all game long. But now with the Aegis, we'll see if Secret are able to push their slight advantage right now. I mean, they have double the kills, but that's not really telling the story of this game because of the split pushing potential from Gaiman.
It's also that the two heroes that are top net worth are very high net worth on Secret, but there's only 2 of them, right? And Ice is way down at the bottom, 10k below either of those 2 heroes. But with this build, the fact that he's Tidehunter, he's functioning more as a support. And if I've learned anything about playing in North America, it's that Terrorblade, if he's the top net worth, he can carry the game, always, no matter how farmed the enemy team is.
Yeah, Nisha. Looks like they'll run right into Celery, who... I mean, between him, Tofu, and Ace, they have just been constantly split pushing, not letting Secret take advantage of whatever leads that they may have had this game. And what's the eventual goal, though? Like, to get to a late game where Monkey King is just... Like, we talk about late game versus late game all the time. Are you comfortable as Gaiman to take this into that territory? As we're going to see the curse In the bot lane, Dyrachyo pops the BKB, kills the creep that was being Boots of Travel to. Faking out the Wukong's command. Ice gets off the Gush. They're showing off that Aghanim Scepter now as, okay, Puppey gets deleted by Boom. After all that.
Yeah, it's good. Game Gladiators, great job backing each other up in situations like that. Also, clutch kill on the creep wave.
Oh. Yeah, with that flamethrower, I mean, this is a considerable amount of damage. Good cogs as well. So now they feel like they have the damage to kill off Tofu, and they've been right on the money.
Yeah, the split pushing seems like it's going to start turning into split dying. There's going to be a lot of feeding happening because of the sheep. Wyvern just having more levels, being able to catch people with the curse, Force Staff, Psychic Headband as well.
My. I mean, that's quite the pickup. Zayat's with an Aghanim Scepter, so he's got the overclock.
So they lacked lockdown before. Now there's, I mean, it's a difficult combo to pull off.
Troves of them.
There's a big treasure trove of lockdown coming out of Zayat's.
Healing power.
Yep, Celery gets sheeped. Double Chakram, that's the Aghanim Scepter from Nisha now. Not quite enough to take out Celery, but yeah, Ice using the Ravager. Ace able to pop the BKB. Kind of zoned out from getting back to his base, so instead will focus onto Puppey, who gets dropped before he can even pop his curse. Ace, luckily able to traverse to the high ground, but he's going to get chased by Nisha. Misses out on both Chakrams, but still has the burst damage and the reach to get that double kill for himself. And hey, look at that. Secret in the enemy base can knock on the door.
Oh, man. The mid creep wave is pushed too, so Boom is doing what he can to cut. But mid's about to push in, and Crystal's also cut the bot wave as that fight was happening. With an illusion.
Looking quite good now. They're going to go for that top Rax's Aghanim Scepter onto Monkey King now, so a little bit earlier than I'm used to seeing it. Melee Rax top dead. Mid not able to get to tier 3, but we can see that Beastmaster does not have buyback, so theoretically Secret could push the envelope. But of course they don't know this. So they'll be happy with what they got. 5k lead Secret, still with Aegis, although only for 10 seconds.
Yeah, I mean, they don't need to go and take a risky push for more, because already it felt like they were just getting split pushed, but the momentum was in their favor. Like, it's felt like Game of Gladiators for the last 20 minutes in this game has not really been able to fight Team Secret. Other than these small skirmishes and pickoffs, a full 5-on-5 engagement hasn't felt possible since that Secret push on the top tier 2 tower.
Yeah.
So finally, we're seeing Game & Gladiators actually take an aggressive smoke out where they're looking for more of a fight rather than just, hey, we're going to pick up this one hero.
Would you say that when the game was even net worth-wise that they weren't able to take a fight, or they just didn't want to?
I think they weren't. I think they actually weren't able to do it, and Secret has just done a really good job at picking a game and off throughout their split pushing. In particular, Nisha has been a thorn in Game & Gladiator's side. Like, he's constantly there. Every pickoff, he seems to be the guy that's finding the hero that's split pushing.
Yep, B-word action is here. It's the jump in from Boom, focusing on Puppey, gets Force Staff and has the Eon Disc to survive. As Zayats might not be so lucky. He's just in the corner. The hook shot, not going to keep him alive, so 2 dead just like that. Gaimin have the advantage. Wukong's command not really going to trap anybody inside. But Chrysalis is going to get hit by the Boundless Strike. Lotus Orb applied. Let's see if they're able to actually turn this around on him. They still have the numbers advantage, does Gaimin, but the BKBs have already been activated. Ice on the high ground. The jump in onto Chrysalis gets the Thunder off at the last moment into the Ravage, finally used, and that is a high value kill for Secret.
They're looking to still go though on Gaimin.
Yep, they can try for it. There is a buyback, and they're going to use it on the Void Spirit, but Dyrachyo getting extremely low. Force Staff to safety again. Nisha going to try to finish him off, but that's the big kill. Chrysalis is dead. Does have buyback, but again, no meta to work with. Ice looks next on the list, Jenkins. And with that buyback, that turned around the fight pretty big in favor of Gaimin.
Yeah, very good call from Game & Gladiators to recognize that even though they had just lost their Void Spirit, Ravage being expended is worth his life. I mean, it's a funny thing to say. It's like, oh, you know, Boom, you're worth less than a Ravage, but he buys back. Even his buyback, they realize that they can just re-engage. No Sunder as well. No BKB on Terrorblade. Like, they felt like this was their timing, and it was an amazing call. The The Hawks, also the dive bombs, have been fairly impactful from Ace. We're seeing a lot of those little deny symbols above people's head. That's him throwing some Hawks in there. Nobody's been killing off those, so he's been getting these long 2-second stuns.
And we'll see in 20 seconds how fast Roche will spawn, because if it's a quick one, that means Secret potentially will be without Ravage again for a potential Roche fight. And if Gaming can take advantage of that, that could even up the game entirely. Although it looks pretty even already at this stage.
We get to see in 1 second, how quick will it be?
All right, 50 seconds.
A minute. What is Ravage? A minute. So Ravage will be up. Ravage will be up. So we're going to have, if we're gaming, gaming Gladiators, I should say, because everybody in this game is gaming.
Yep.
It's all about forcing the same engagement, which you cannot do with a Void Spirit buyback, because he doesn't have it. But you got a DD. So that definitely makes the next fight a lot easier.
Potentially.
Potentially.
He has been caught out a couple times this game.
Could be turned against him as well. There is that Winter's Curse to look out for. And the Sunder, which, you know, are technically turning that damage against him through that spell. Both teams are feeling the pressure of this next Roshan. They know it's respawning soon. They know how much this series matters for the Major, for potentially TI for Secret. So not willing to do anything too crazy.
Yeah, and the smoke up from Secret. Nisha. He's still making some space here, and they're going to see that Roche is up. Dyrachyo, just jumps away in time. That would have been an enormous pickoff. They will find Celery, though.
He's got buyback.
Yeah, not sure if that's going to be enough for them to go for the Roche play, as the overwhelming blink is there for Nisha. And, I mean, he's running out of slots here pretty quick. Obviously has the gem that can be replaced, and I guess he could eat his Ags.
Needs a refresher.
Into the Roche hit. That is an Aghanim Scepter, which would be, we can have that discussion when the time comes, but Roche already had, this looks free. Secret look to be taking this.
I would say probably Crystallis takes this. Get that second.
Yeah, the fear is really good.
The fear and just a second meta. So that way the Aegis is actually worthwhile.
Yeah, for sure.
And he does grab the eggs. And Cheese is also good on Terrorblade, so greedy carry players often take all the items from this, but in this case, it actually makes sense.
We have the curse. It's not going to last that long because there's no targets nearby, but it's long enough. Tofu bursted. Nisha and company with an 8K lead. And like you said, Crystallis did consume the Aegis. Did consume the Ag.
Oh, they cut
nice
Dyrachyo.
hook shot. Zayat. It's that Monkey King, and this is going to lead to a very big kill. But Dyrachyo pops that BKB. Wukong's command with the level 25 talent is doing absolute work. Nisha gets off the mini Yules. Still going a 1v1 battle with him, and the Gush comes in, and that's enough. Down goes Monkey King, no ult to work with. Still buyback still from Gaiman. Boom. Gonna have to use a lot of his mobility spells in order to TP back to base. He'll be successful. But like you said, the Aghanim Scepter for Terrorblade, that gives you...
And the blink, too, at the same timing, so he can blink fear backwards.
That's dirty.
Yeah, that's a nice one.
How long is the meta during that? It's 10
like
seconds.
10 seconds? Yeah, it's I mean, yeah, that's pretty big. 10 seconds, that's like a team fight. It's not like a pushing meta, but it's like a team fight meta. Which means, like, it's a lot harder to fight into that Terrorblade.
And now we got the big boy refresher on Ice Ice Ice. He's got the double Ravage, the double Wraith Pact.
Yeah, that's a big one. Got that extra Wraith Pact damage.
Hell yeah.
Now, Tidehunter, and also he's going to have the 1 second Ravage stun duration. This is when this hero gets absolutely insane in the late game. Let's see. It's going to be 8 seconds of AoE disable.
Yeah.
In a 1250 AoE. This thing is the radius of Pudge Hook's length, almost.
Wow, that's a great unit of measurement right there.
I'm sorry about that. It's huge. It's huge. In 8 seconds straight. I mean, that is...
Crystallis trying to poke the high ground with that Aegis for another 3 minutes. Hook shot again from Zayas. He's been all over the place in Ice 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 with the first Ravage. The second to come. This is going to be an enormous kill. Down goes Void Spirit. He has no buyback. Huge kill for Secret. Obviously expends both Ravages, but now they don't have to fear too much from the side of Game, and it's going to be a 5v4. And that's buyback on the Celery.
They've got to do something right now with these Ravages being down.
Yep. Oh, they're going to break the trees again. They've been all over the place. Nisha, God, and the fear to follow. No chance for Dyrachyo. Still has his buyback, but my goodness. Those trees have not been safe for him this game at all. Curse. Gonna need some damage to Tofu in the meantime. The buyback comes from the Monkey King as Chrysalis. Doesn't have Sunder for another 6 seconds, but again, just wants to use that Aegis. And Nisha is the real carry, though. But they're inside this huge Wukong's command. Ice able to sidestep, gets off the Gush, taking a lot of damage from this impetus, but a nice save from Puppey. Cold Embrace saves him for a little bit. Delays the inevitable. Still has the buyback if he really wants to push the envelope. And Cheese still on the Terrorblade. Another hook shot on the Zayats as Ace looks to be next. And Secret in very good position to finish this series 2-1. Celery able to force staff to the high ground. Zayat's not able to connect on that hook shot this time, although his hook shots have been extremely good this game. Basher applied to Chrysalis.
He's kind of in.
He has to be careful. Gets off the Sunders. Dyrachyo is going to get jumped now by the real carry again, but the Cold Embrace going to save the Terrorblade, or the Timbersaw, I should say, and that will be the official dieback onto Dyrachyo, which means it's going to be pretty difficult for Game and Gladiators, if not impossible, to hold this any further.
It's just the 2 supports for 20 seconds.
My.
It's just the 1 support for 20 seconds.
Yep, and that's the Weaver left to his own devices, and we'll see if Seeker just go straight for the throne. It's going to be at the very least 2 sets of racks, which makes it the Mega Creeps. Going to play it slightly safe, and then 10k gold on Chrysalis. Good lord.
Somehow Boom has got to hit his spells of a lifetime. You got to sell everything, get Daggons. I don't know.
Yep, Chrysalis buying the Satanic, but it's not going to be on himself yet as Boom jumps in.
It gets
instantly hexed. Oh my god. Somebody needs to go back on the replay and check that sheepstick. He was clicking on the ground. You knew it.
I don't know what he was doing. This man is an AI. He was actually playing a robot in the game and is one in real life, because that was some insane performance from him.